What's up everybody and welcome back to the YouTube channel. We are gonna do a Q&A today. So I fired these questions out on Instagram the other day. So if you don't follow me on Instagram. And I just take out all these questions and I'll pick some, if they're rubbish, I'm not gonna answer them. If you're someone who's asked a question, this is a good one. If you're someone who's asked a question frequently and I've not answered it, I either don't wanna answer that question because it's something personal, or I don't know the answer, so I don't really want to constantly put out, I don't know the answer, so I just don't answer them. Makes a lot of sense. Okay then, so the first question here is, you can only pick one, Gymshark or Nike for training arms? That's the biggest question. I'm going to say Gymshark for a very few reasons. In fact, I'm going to tell you about my journey with Gymshark. I sent a application video to Gymshark maybe 6-7 years ago. It's the most cringy, awkward thing. It's actually on this YouTube channel, but it's on private. Maybe one day I'll post it. It'd be very, very fitting if that ever came into fruition in the future, for example. But I put out a full application maybe 6-7 years ago. I absolutely love them. Sort of fell out of love with them. I think they went a route that was very what everyone was doing, just fitfluencer commercial. Let's just try and get the people with the most followers who maybe don't know that loads of things about fitness. And they've gone full circle. Now they kind of are a brand that represents everyone, which is really nice. As a bodybuilder, I do feel more represented by that brand now because they have things that are very specific, for us on the website. But I'm sure many, many other people of all different walks of life can also represent themselves with that brand. So definitely Gymshark at the moment. Your take on the men's physique category this year at the O? Do you feel confident for the future? You know what? I was sat back looking at it and I didn't feel like I'd be out of place. I think there's people that are a lot bigger than me, but I think the shape and aesthetics will definitely play into my favor. I think when I was looking at all their backs, I think the guy in second place had the best back, a better back than me. I almost feel like my back is on par with, if not going to be by that time, better than Randy Henderson's. Is that big-headed? I don't know. I feel like when I was looking at it, I could see myself and being at that level. From the front, it's a different story. I think the midsection needs a lot of work for me. I think my arms and my delts and my chest and everything else needs a lot of work before I can hang with those guys. So, after this long off season, we'll have a good look in the pro ranks next year, which would be good to see. And it'll be, you're never gonna know until you stand next to some of them like that. So that's what we have to go and do next year. How is your libido different from when you were natural versus is it different on a blast and cruise? Honestly, if I'm honest, the only time that my sex drive changes is during a prep. Otherwise, it's pretty just consistent. And it's pretty consistently high, and that's literally how it's been since I was natural, since I started, since I cruised. I never really feel too different because I feel like I have a pretty solid balance of hormones when I'm doing it. I don't have anything too high, I don't kind of overdo it, so I kind of just feel pretty darn good all the time in that respect. So yeah, the only time it changes is during a prep, when the stress is high and you get super lean. Why men's physique and not classic? I think at the moment it's a good stepping stone for me. Men's physique is no joke. I think a lot of people like to joke about men's physique. Those guys are no fucking joke. They walk into a gym, every single person in that gym is looking going, whoa, that guy's fucking big. It's not a joke. These guys, said that about 10 times. These guys are big. There are levels to it, so I don't think there's anything to look down upon. I think the people that look down upon it are perhaps a little bit naive to what we have to put in anyway. Appreciate we cover half our bodies, that's fine. But for me, it works out as a nice stepping stone. I'm not big enough for classic. Those guys are even bigger than I can imagine. And men's physique is a nice kind of middle ground. And you know what? It's a lot more. I don't want to say it's attainable, but it's closer than classic. So a lot of people get into it. How to know when your estrogen is dialed in properly? Just get a blood test. Literally get a blood test. As high as you can tolerate it is probably what I would recommend. And by that I mean you're not feeling anything strange from having too high estrogen, like blood pressure issues or water retention issues, and you just generally feel good, then keep that estrogen high. How do you and Amy structure time for each other given your schedules? So I don't know, I don't really talk too much about my girlfriend on here for reasons that I'm not going to talk about right now, but she works a corporate job and she's a big boss. You're a big boss. So she has a lot of work to do. So she will be up, she'll leave the house sometimes at 6 o'clock to go to the gym for an hour, to then, have a shower, go to work for 8, and she's there till 7:30. So, she's doing these 12, 13-hour days every single day. So our time is because I have the freelance job where I can pick up and drop work when and if I need to on most occasions. Kind of when the opportunity arises, we go take it, that type of thing, right? If she can get a Friday off, we'll go do something. But we just make sure we spend nice evenings together, and we make sure that on Saturdays and Sundays we do something, which is strange for me because before I met Amy, I didn't really have Saturdays and Sundays, every day was just, I could kind of not do what I wanted to, but if we wanted to go spend a Monday and Tuesday somewhere because it was quieter and you can't do that when you're working, then we did that, or I did that. But now we definitely just make the most of our weekends. You know, Saturday, Sunday, we try and spend as much time together. But obviously sometimes when we don't do that, it doesn't feel like you spend a lot of time together when she might be working from till 6, 7 p.m. and then, you know what, something pops up that I need to go do it for an hour, because my job isn't necessarily like 9 to 5, it's 24/7, but only like a certain hours of that 24/7. Obviously I'm asleep for some of it, but it's different like that. So we're just trying to align our time as much, and like we actually have like holiday time. You know, obviously she has less holiday than me, because I can take holiday whenever. So we just try and, you know, set big holidays for each other and go from that. What does your girl think about you not wanting to have kids? She doesn't really want kids either, which is, I don't know whether that was meant to be, but we kind of don't have that. I don't have that, I'll speak for myself. I don't have that paternal feeling, really. I've never had that urge to want kids, especially how the world's going these days. I don't want to bring another thing into the system that's who knows what's gonna happen. So right now it's a no. I'm never gonna say never. Like, I think like a big part of maybe getting paternal for some people, not everyone, is you feel like you want to achieve the one thing that you can only do by doing that, like by having a kid. And it's something that, you know, it's like a unique feeling that people can access themselves without having to need loads of money, for example. Is a shredded physique attainable naturally all year round? And if so, how? It is. It's not going to feel good, but you just monitor your calories. It's literally calories in versus calories out. Get shredded, stay there, that's it. Job done. Doesn't mean it's going to feel nice though. How's the PS5? I just bought a PS5. It's just down here. I impulse bought a PS5 because I've been wanting to play Spider-Man after watching all the Marvel films. And then also the Ghost of Tsushima. I've been wanting to play that as well. So if there's any other games on PS5 that you think I should be playing, drop a comment. I've got the Xbox X. I've had that for however long since it came out. I play that all the time. So now I want some Xbox exclusives. Potential shows to qualify for the O, play it strategically or as many as possible. I am just gonna try and compete like I'm going to the O, if that makes sense. Like, I'm gonna set my season up so that I don't qualify in like June and then have to stay on prep until December or something. I'm gonna try and qualify for the Olympia in mid to late October or November. There'll be like a 6-week run of shows, you know, maybe 8 weeks before that last show, and I'll have a go at a few shows and see where we stand and gain a little bit of information from those and have a much more inclined decision as how feasible it is to be getting to the O or how not feasible. And then we'll just make a decision from there. But yeah, because they changed the Olympia to the December in Vegas, I'm probably just gonna prep 2 months later, something like that. How long do you intend to bodybuild for? I think this is a good question because I'm definitely someone who understands the time, like there should be a time, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, other people think differently. Like for me, I've got a time limit on this, and that time limit is going to be decided by either how well I'm doing or the time that I've actually been doing it, of course. Because if I'm 2 years down the line, I'm still trying to qualify for Olympia, and I'm still hitting like top 10s. I've never hit a top 5, for example. You know what? Like I'm in my opinion, I'm probably going to be done. You know, at making that decision now. If I'm there, is it going to be different? Maybe it's different. But if I'm, you know, qualified for Olympia in 2 years, and then I get a top 10 in the Olympia, and then I get a top 5 in the Olympia, then maybe I get a top 4. Like, I'm not going to be able to stop if I'm creeping up and I'm progressing. So I think the progression is going to be a lot of the deciding factor. But I'm not silly. I know what I'm doing is taking lives off this end of the life, which I definitely want to be increasing at some point. So I definitely want to constrain this portion of my life that I'm using and abusing anabolic steroids, to be quite frank. When to stop the blast? So this is a good question because a lot of people think like, okay, cool, should I just do a 12-week cycle, 16-week cycle? Do I do 8-week cycles? Some people do like 6, then 2 back, and 6 and 2 back, and all these kind of things. Like for me, just stay, if you can manage your cycle in the best way possible, or a way possible that sees you extending that time on. For me, that's a good thing in terms of muscle gain, because you have this elongated period of time when you can use more hormones at a place where your blood work reflects in a positive manner. So blood work is going to be your dictator. You know, maybe do your first 8 weeks, 10 weeks, maybe 12 weeks in some cases, get your blood work done, have a check to see where you're at, you know, and then if everything's like acceptable or where you were expected to be, then all right, maybe you could either wrap it up if you're not happy with it, or you could maybe extend 4 weeks, and then every 4 weeks or so you could just run if you've got the funds available, which you should do if you're in this game, then you could just run a full blood work panel every 4 weeks. And you know, when it's in a place when you're a bit like, oh, okay, cool, we've done what we need to do here. We've gained the muscle we need to. Let's have a rest and let's recover. I know the vertical diet serves a purpose. Do you also enjoy eating that way? So there's a lot of things that like I would change about the vertical diet, and there's a lot of things that I'm going to change about the vertical diet. I just wanted to go full send for literally like 2 weeks straight. It's probably into my 3rd week now, so I'll probably do 3 weeks straight just to kind of actually see how it feels full out. And there's a lot of positives I can take from it. I'm probably going to change a few things about it, which we'll talk about in the next video or one of the future videos. And we'll just talk about what I'm going to change, the things that I'm going to improve, the things that I've taken from it, the positives I've taken from it, and maybe the things that I'm going to take into the next diet or so. But it's still been going really well. Like I overeat my calories sometimes because I'm still hungry and I need like a little snack just to send me off the bed. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling thick. I was 121.5 kilos today, so like we're getting up there now. And the vertical diet has definitely served me well. So I'm thankful for this period of diet trying. Is online coaching something you can do as a side hustle, or is it very much full time? So you can definitely do it as a side hustle. I don't obviously, but you can, because you don't need to do 100 clients. You can do 10. And if those 10 people are paying you £100, which is a very fair price for a middle average range, like I don't want to say lower level, but perhaps a less known, someone who's just getting into the business type coach, who's probably still very well knowledge. For example, Ethan Harris, my second coach, like he is so knowledgeable, and he charges 100 quid. Like it's nothing, it's worth it. So I really think that, you know, it almost starts as a side hustle, because you can't go from maybe like those 10 clients paying you £100, which is £1,000 a month, to being able to pay your rent, mortgage, this and this, you know, off it in one go. Maybe you get 15 next month and 20 the next month. So it definitely starts as a side hustle, but it can definitely transfer over into a full-time thing. The prize money, or the lack of, in bodybuilding. So like, is it possible to break even without sponsorships and social media? I'm gonna say unless you're in the top 5 of the Olympia across all categories, except for probably women's, which is the brutal honesty, you're probably not, and even maybe men's physique, you're not earning enough to be able to live probably. So the men's physique winner gets maybe $30,000, so £25,000 maybe, which is obviously a lot of money, but the guy who comes second gets 15, and that's the best guy in the world, right? So there's one guy getting 25 grand for one competition. Sure, you can do a few more competitions, maybe you win another 7, but like as bodybuilders, you don't want to be doing loads of competitions, right? If you can get in condition early and you can do them over an 8-week period, then cool. But if you're just doing them all year, like you are taking a health compromise for like not loads of money, because some of the pro wins you get like $2,000, you know. So in order for you to be making a good amount of money, it's very, very difficult. So that is where the sponsorships come in. That is where like supplement companies, all those types of things come in. You know, but if you're top 5 Olympia, like I think 5th place, Mr. Olympia, the bodybuilding got $175,000, so you know that's a big increase for 5th place. So you can make a good living, but you got to be in that top brand. You see, cryptocurrencies, we haven't talked about this before. What are you investing in my crypto? So at the moment I have Ripple, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Cardano. I'm not sure if there's anything else. I'm not really into kind of finding other coins that are going to go crazy. I more just invest into like long-term good coins, and there's probably about 20% of my entire portfolio. Like the rest of it is in like ETF funds and pretty big like good corporations like Tesla, for example. Otherwise, I'm just in those 4, but I'm always looking for more. So just don't flood my DMs with coins that I should be buying. Right then, guys, we'll wrap that up there. That was quite a few questions. I don't want to bombard you with too much. But yeah, like if you guys ever have any types of questions, like just fire them on the channel. We'll do the best that we can to answer. And if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, drop a comment. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.